Cheap folding saw versus expensive folding saw. Let's compare them. For the cheap folding saw, I went on Amazon and looked for the cheapest saw. And it's around $7. So here is the Hardened Tools folding saw for $7. Immediately noticing it feels super cheap. The plastic just doesn't feel great. Locking mechanism, it actually locks when it's closed. You have to push this button, and then you can fold it out, and then it locks in place up there. And then to close it, you push the button again and it closes up. You have to line it up. There you go, it locks again. The saw is 7 inches long. The expensive saw is going to be this Silky Gamboy. It's made in Japan. These go for around $40. It comes in this plastic case. The rubber is very nice, and the locking mechanism is full metal with the button. It actually doesn't lock when it's fully closed, but just pull it out. The blade on here is actually 8 inches long, and it is slightly curved. You can get a straight blade or a curved blade for it. You can actually buy the replacement blades when they eventually do dull out. To fold it back, you push the button and fold it down. The saw is 8 inches on this one, so it's an inch longer. We'll see if that does help it saw through a little faster, since there is a little bit more cutting edge. The benefit of a folding saw would be you can just throw this in a pack when you're out in the woods. Doesn't take up too much space. The saw is a really great tool when you need one. We're gonna start with a cheap folding saw. We have different pieces of wood that have different diameters, and we're gonna test both saws on the same size pieces and see what can do it faster. We're going to step up the size of the piece. Wow, that was considerably faster. I mean, that's very noticeable. It's almost like cutting through butter with this thing. So the blade on the Silky is a little bit longer, and the Silky is curved a little bit. Those are all helping a little bit, but it cuts through so much quicker. Not to mention that the cheaper one probably uses an inferior metal, meaning it will dull out a lot faster too. So the sharpest cuts you're gonna get are right out of the box, which a Silky already does much better than. It's important to mention that folding saws around 7 to 8 inches aren't really meant to be taking down really big pieces of wood, just some smaller branches. So in reality, you really don't want to go a piece of wood bigger than maybe that much of the blade. You'll have a lot more trouble cutting it. That being said, let's work on this log that's a little bit thicker here. Wow, I'm impressed every time I use this thing. Let's try on this side where it's a little bit thicker. I'll go with the Silky first. Doesn't even feel like it's cutting. You know what? I'm sick of this thing. That's how it's done. Well, cheap versus expensive folding saw, which one's better? Obviously the expensive folding saw is much better. It's $40 versus $7. $40 really isn't that expensive. I mean, it's not like this is $200 versus $10. It's $7 versus $40. So what you're getting a much better product with the Silky. And if you can afford it, it's definitely worth it to buy this one. Actually using them back to back, it's a night and day difference. The Silky is much better. It cuts through like cutting through warm butter. This saw, it still cuts. It'll cut. And if you're just using it on smaller branches, it's really not that bad. But it really shows its colors on those thicker pieces, and the Silky just outperforms it in every way. But that's to be expected at the price range. But in my opinion, the Silky is definitely worth the money. Not to mention, the metal used on the cheaper one is definitely not going to be the same metal used on the Silky. The metal will hold up a lot better on the Silky. The saw will remain sharp for much longer. Anyways, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.